No, God provides,
Yeah,
and
bro.
especially when you're willing to listen to what He's saying, and you're trying to live His creed and live the mission. And so, how has your faith played into your journey from moving from where you were to where you are? And and it'll, because a lot of times our brothers don't rely on faith, or they turn that voice off and they don't want to hear it because that other voice is speaking louder. So how do how does that play the part in your life?
You know, man, I tell people, even the scriptures say, be still, right? Be still and know that I'm God. But isn't it funny? Many brothers don't try it. Isn't it funny the role that jail has played in the role? Isn't it funny the role that jail has played in the lives of many transformed men?
Hmm.
Because that's the only place where
Still.
they be still. You got it. I mean, Martin Luther King, one of his greatest speeches was a letter from a Birmingham jail. I mean, Mandela went in an angry, rebel and came out 27 years later, an unbelievable world leader with empathy and heart. Detroit Red became Malcolm X. I mean, when you look at the stories, right, of just being still and listening to that voice inside of you, I
Hmm.
tell people, I was taught religion is for people afraid to go to hell. Spirituality is for people who've been there already. And many a times, man, when I walked in that house, when they moved my mother's body, I had all these degrees, I had all these awards, and they didn't do nothing for me. They didn't speak to me, they didn't support me, they didn't comfort me that night. The only thing that let me know it was going to be all right was my faith in my God. Many a times in school, many times in life, you know my story. I was a professor at Tulane,
Right.
lost a tenured position with 8 people living in my house. But God, bro. I mean, only thing I had to stand on with 4 degrees was God. That's it.
Eh,
My faith letting me know that, hey, tomorrow, this too shall pass, and yeah, God ain't putting nothing on you that you cannot handle. These trials and tribulations are just tests, so you can have a testimony. It's my faith, bro, that continues to carry me through all of the adversity that I've been through, and I've been through, you know, you know, to lose it all. Like they said, it's the only way you lose a tenure position is by act of God. And I
Right.
tell people when God decided to act,
Yeah, take it right away.
yeah, God said, "Look, I'm gonna check you, bro." Bam, and I still didn't lose faith. I knew He just had a different plan for me.
Was there ever a time that you didn't walk towards your faith, and what happened?
Every time I didn't walk towards my faith, I got reminded, uh, and I got reminded. There's a saying that say when there's distance between you and your God, you don't have to ask who moved. All right. And when there are issues in my life, I realize I have moved. I have moved away. I moved away from my faith. I moved away from the discipline that I'm supposed to have in my life, whether it's financial, whether it's physical. I'm having health issues now because I moved away from what I know I'm supposed to be doing in terms of exercising. Financially, my son about to go to college. We're in a good situation because over the years I've been disciplined about what I'm supposed to be doing. And when there's issues with me and people, when there's issues with me and my family, issues with me and my wife, is I have walked away from my faith. I have stepped away, and I'm leaning on my own understanding, and my ego getting in the way, and my pride getting in the way when that's not supposed to be. The world is an audit world,
Right.
and right now, we got 4 or 5 days straight of 100 degrees, and people say like climate change ain't real and this and that. I say, you know what? I say Mother Nature is basically math, biology, physics, and chemistry. She don't care about your philosophy. She don't care about your politics nor your religion. Mother Nature gonna do what Mother Nature gonna do. So, I believe there's an audit world, and our steps are audited. There are things that there's ways we're supposed to behave, right? And when we behave outside of that, there must be consequences. And when I step away from my audit steps based on my faith or whatever, there's usually consequences.
Oh, absolutely. And what I hope is that there's some brothers out there who are listening who are willing to come back into those steps, willing to think about things differently, listen to that voice, develop their faith, but also use that to develop some that faith. Use that to build the mental toughness to make some changes. And I just want to be a part of that change, and I know you do too. So what are some things that you're currently doing to help someone else reach their greatness?
Uh, Man, we're doing so much. I try to meet people where they are. And when I say meet them where they are, I'm like where they are. Like tonight, we're in the juvenile detention center. I believe everyone is reachable, teachable, and redeemable. So what you did yesterday don't define your present, and your past don't write your future. So, I mean, I'm building a 15,000 square feet, no, 30,000 square feet, $15 million STEM center in the hood in New Orleans. Can be like anything, won't be like anything anyone has ever seen in a black and brown community in terms of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We just
How
launched a
long?
program.
How
I'm
long before
sorry.
this? How long before that gets done?
Hopefully 2 years. We're waiting on the final specs from the architects right now. We got half the money, raised, and a commitment really on the other half. So it will happen. We just launched a program. You know, I'm not at liberty to give you the name, but we like teaching kids we're teaching kids uh, advanced manufacturing, right? We're taking 3D printers and we're teaching kids how to make stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I got takeoff agreements from schools and from businesses. So if I could teach a kid how to sell, cup holders that he made 10 in a pack, instead of selling a dime bag, he's selling a bag of 10 cup holders and making more money, and the police ain't looking for him. People ain't shooting at him. He's
That's making
learning
change.
entrepreneurship. He's learning business. There you go. So, people keep saying, education, college ain't for everybody.
No,
And I
I
tell
agree
them,
with that.
hey, I agree. If you read my book, chapter number 1, I talk about Mr. Trade and Mr. Degree. I got four PA. I got 4 STEM degrees, and my dad didn't have any, but he had a trade. My daddy probably made more money with his trade than I ever make with my 4 engineering degrees, right? But here's the
Right.
deal. College ain't for everybody, but education is for everyone. Now, you got to
Mm-hmm.
decide how you're going to be educated. Are you going to be educated with a skill, or are you going to be educated with a professional degree?
But you got to be
Because
educated somehow.
you got to be educated somehow. My boys who go to the NFL, they say, man, the first thing they did was put that big book in front of me and I had to study. The quarterback out with the Phoenix Cardinals, they made him sign a deal that he was going to study tape. And everybody like, that's racist, that's racist. And the people said, that ain't racist. We knew he wasn't studying tape. Oh, y'all playing on myth. They said we used to give the cat blank tapes and he'll come back like he
like he was watching them.
like he was watching them, bro. So at some point you got to say, look, hey, bro, to be is to study. And I want to hammer this one because you asked me what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying to teach young brothers. To be is to study. All right. If the Saints, and we love the Saints, if the Saints show up on Sunday and get clobbered, we're going to claim they didn't do nothing during the week. They were in the club. They wasn't studying. If you want to be an actor, I told my brother, you got to study. You want to be an engineer, you got to study. You want to be a roofer, you got to study. You want to be a dancer, you got to study. You got to put in some work, bro, for the performance. Too many of us just want to, we just want to perform. And that's why that mental that's why that mental toughness come in, right?
Right.
And that study part.
Right. Because it's more about the process than the product. And the
It's more
process,
about the process.
if you love the process, you're going to have an amazing product. And it's going to be more fine-tuned. It's going to be more cared about, more taken care of. And so, I hear you saying you're helping people develop the process.
And we're putting them through processes, right? And that's why I say everybody's reachable, teachable, redeemable, because I refuse to be to the people I'm working with what other people are. And I keep telling them, they come in here, they mess up. They're like, Doc, I messed up. Yeah, you messed up. And I let them have you messed up. And I want them to feel bad. And then I pat them on the back and say, look, bro, now come on, we're going to get this right. Because I want them to be redeemed, right? I want them to be redeemed. Because the world is unforgiving. And you go out there and do what you just did to me. And I'm my brother's keeper. I am definitely my brother's keeper. The only question is, how long am I supposed to keep you? When you start hurting other people around here because you refuse to be redeemed, you refuse to learn, then we got to let you go because nobody's bigger than the institution.
No, I agree. I think one of the most important places I ever spoke at, I went to a jail somewhere in New Jersey, in between New Jersey and Philly. And so, there was some brothers who was doing some hard time. And I went in to, kick some motivation and try to speak to them and just inspire them any way I could. And, just seeing the brothers like that locked up behind the bars and seeing the hurt and the pain behind their eyes, but also the hope that they could turn it around and do something different, and just trying to give them a message that would inspire them. That's what this is about, and trying to change their mindset so that they could do something, so they can move from the gutter to their greatness, regardless of whether they're locked up or not. Because even being locked up, their mind don't got to be locked up. Their mind can be free, and they can now begin to free themselves as they transition into from behind the jail cell. And I just think that's important, is to give back. And I commend you for going into the jails today. They need that. You're helping them build critical thoughts. You might give them a spark or a skill, like your uncle put that into you to be an engineer. This might make them want to become and get out and become an engineer.
And that's what I'm telling them. When you get out of this, I got my daddy roofing company, man, everybody knew they had a job. If they get out of jail and
Right.
literally show up, my daddy put them on the roof, right? And that's what I'm telling people in the community. I got you. Now you got a shot. Now come on. And my wife be like, you just hire everybody. That's right. Everybody through the door. You got it. And because, hey man, but I could been one of them. Easy. I mean, most of my cousins are. I mean, easily, a wrong turn one night. And my whole life could have been totally different. So I love what I do, bro. And more importantly, I love who I do it for. We're gonna do STEM this week, and I'm going to Martha's Vineyard. And they invited me up to do a STEM camp on Martha's Vineyard, right?
Okay.
And this is the Tootie Woody Doo, people and their kids.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody
tell them I need some money for my organization. Tell them I need to bring STEM NOLA to STEM Rochester. We still working on that, brother. We've been working diligently to try to get the program here, because I believe in what y'all doing, and we got to find a way to get it here to our kids.
We're gonna get it there, and I'm gonna work with you to get it there. We're gonna find it, man. But my point too, when I meet a lot of people with money and they say, our kids really need this, come give it to them. I say, what about Pookie, Ray Ray, Jose, and Mary?
Right.
If you really think this is beneficial to your little upper class son and daughter, which it is,
absolutely,
how beneficial is to the people over there?
They absolutely need it, because they don't get it, and they need that.
Because they don't get it. And if your son and daughter growing up in all this privilege, and you damn near got to shove it down their throat, what you think about the kids over there? So what we're doing now, man, we're creating value in the hood. Like you say, gutter to greatness. We take these big events and put them in the hood, and now people with money got to come to the hood to get it. And they're like, won't you come do it over here? I'm like, nope, if you want it, the value is right here. And the people in their community appreciate the fact that we've created value in their community. They can walk out their house now and get this. They don't have to go way across town to fly a drone. And that's what I mean by meeting the people where they are, bringing value to the people, and making ourselves accessible. A lot of my friends are successful, but they're not significant. Paul, when I met you, bro, I said, this is a brother I want to know, because you're trying to be significant.
Absolutely.
And we need more brothers and sisters trying to be significant rather than trying to be successful.
And the thing is, I can't forget where I came from to help people get where they're going. So at the end of the day, I know that we got to duplicate some things. So if as we start to close here, if you had 3 things for someone to duplicate, to shift to their own greatness, what would they be? What would be your 3 tips that you want people to move from the gutter to greatness? If you had to give somebody drop some gems on them, what would that be?
They said people change for 1 or 3 reasons. They change because people only change because of 1 or more 3 reasons. They change when they're given enough. They change when they learn enough, and or they change when they hurt enough. And Paul, our people, too many of us are hurting too much before we change. So the 3 things that I wrap around my own 2 kids, I wrap around my nieces and nephews, everybody I come in contact with, I believe there's 3 things that we should work on every day that move us from gutter to greatness, to move us wherever we are, to where we want to be closer is that first and foremost, we got to work on our skill sets. We got to get skills, man, in the 21st century. You got to have skills to pay the bills. The man or woman who doesn't have skills asks people how much you pay. The man and woman who does have skills tell people how much they charge. So we got kids in India and China that got skills, and they emailing me every night trying to get me to hire them to, copyright my book or do this, a bill, a code. We got to make sure our children getting skills. And we got to make sure we getting skills, whoever we are. Adults got to get upskilled. You got to get reskilled. You got to go learn. And I keep telling people about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will not displace you. People using artificial intelligence will displace you. So you got to go learn how to use Chat GPT. You got to learn all these AI tools that they're coming out with. 2, after skill sets, they got to work on their assets. What are assets? Assets is not so much money. Assets is the people in your life. If you don't know where you got here today, look at the 5 people you hung out with 5 years ago. If you want to know where you're going to end up 5 years from now, look at the 5 people you're hanging out with now. Look at your circle and change your assets. And then the third thing is the thing that all of us have been talking about, mindset. If you get your mindset right, that's going to force you to change your skill sets and assets. You can get your skill sets and assets right and still have this messed up mindset and blow it all in the club. Blow it. You see these athletes with all the skills, with all the money, all the friends, and blow it all because they had the wrong mindset. With the right mindset, you transform your life and many people around you.
No, I want to thank you, Dr. Mackie, Calvin, for coming on and dropping gems, dropping beautiful knowledge on the audience here and helping us move from gutter to greatness. And just leaving people with a few words. My mindfulness minute here is that, this brother's gutter to greatness story has came from what I believe is his faith and from his resources. From his faith and his resources, and that has helped change and create opportunity for him. His mindset changed and his skills and his assets changed, as he just said. So if you want to become greater later, if you want to move from your gutter to greatness, as this brother has shared with you, start changing your mindset, start forming new habits, new rituals, and new routines, start planting better seeds, and then watering those seeds and putting the right things around you that will grow those seeds. So now you will have new assets, you will have new skills, and you will have the ability to be great. And so that is the episode of Gutter to Greatness, Beyond Barriers, the journey of triumph and self-discovery. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We just want you to get greater later. Peace until next time. Peace, love, and soul, like Don Cornelius would say, right? We out.
That's it for today's episode. So head on over to iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener that posts a review on iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing for a $25,000 private epic VIP day with Dr. Miller himself. Be sure to head on over to guttertogreatness.com and pick up a free copy of Dr. Miller's gift. And join us on the next episode.